guys, this is your girl, Coach Ebony Nicole, the writing coach and publishing engineer, here to guide you down the path of authorship. And I am so excited to welcome you to the Meet the Authors of the 201 Project, where we celebrate Christian women who stopped waiting and started writing the message God gave them, the one He entrusted for them to do. And so I am excited to welcome one of my authors who was already published before she got to me. So I've always said it does not matter if this is your first time publishing or your second or third or fourth or whatever time. If you want to take advantage of this project, you can. And she heard about it and she did. And so I want you to meet one of our Kingdom Legacy authors, Clianda Florence. Hey, girl. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Excellent. I can't complain. Loving the weather.
Good, good. Let me tell you, this 100, I think it's like 102 degrees with the index. I'm
Yes.
like, yeah, let me go ahead, do what I got to do outside, and I'm staying in the house after that. But hopefully
Yeah.
it'll cool off once the sun go down. But we just gonna hop right into it because it is all about you. So we will know about your book, your poetry book called Him, and Him is
Yeah.
something else. But we would get before we get into him, I want to know the story behind your book. Where did it come from?
It came from a healing journey that I was on post-divorce.
Mhm.
My first two books were more of a transition of what I had desired after doing research of what a marriage should look like. And it's not, and I
Mm,
want to put a preface there that should does not mean this identity of perfection that
yeah.
oftentimes people chase. When I say should look like, I mean looking at some of the bases that I researched that are missing
Mm.
that cause people to lead down the road to divorce, and that's the lack of communication, the lack of intimacy, and not being able to communicate effectively when it comes to your finances.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
so those were the top three pillars based on research for divorce. And when I began to write my first two, it was more at the beginning pieces of me choosing me again.
Yeah.
It was during a time when I didn't feel chosen. I felt like I had to be small. I lost sight of my identity. So I was breaking this mold of reimagining who is Cleanda. And not only that, but after speaking to over 150 individuals who either had been divorced or were married, one of the key things that I notice is sometimes you forget who you are within the confines of relationship, that be
Mm.
child, in your job, if it's in your marriage, you lose essence of yourself. So that began to get me back to understanding that you can't lose yourself, even though
Yeah.
you're a mother or you're a wife or a husband.
That's
Um,
good.
that was the litmus that got me going. But with him, what it helped me to better understand in communication and sexual intimacy was truly unpacking what is intimacy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How we defined intimacy from the standpoint of just being so physically driven that we forgot about the mental stimulation.
Yeah.
Because for me, they call it sapiosexual. And
Mm.
that is someone who is stimulated by someone who could get into your mind.
Mm.
I began to learn that I am very much attracted to someone who could stimulate my mind, who could teach me something, who really not only loves the Lord, but understands the true into me you see when it comes to having
Yes. Yes.
a
Yes.
relationship with
Yes.
God. So when you have that type of intimacy and understand that there's levels and layers to it, and you
Yeah.
understand that whenever I'm able to talk to you and draw you out, and I allow you to be vulnerable,
Yeah.
and I allow you to show your scars and not impel you further, when I allow you to derobe yourself before I physically touch you, but
Mm.
mentally begin to derobe you, and I began to see all of your scars. I see the physical surgeries. I see what you've gone through and are still working through. And I can still say, I love you. I can still
Yeah,
say you matter. And I still say that I will choose you. That in itself is something that many people don't experience.
yep,
And for somebody to
yep.
touch you before they touch you, many people can't say that they've had that.
Listen, that right there, to touch me before you touch me, is on a whole nother level. You are definitely experiencing a deep into me see, because
Hmm.
you that takes you to, that has to, you have to be vulnerable,
Yeah,
extremely vulnerable. Actually, not just for you, but both parties have to be
that's right.
vulnerable. And you have to have a very, very, very solid trust with each other, because
Hmm.
that vulnerability, and if that trust and vulnerability aren't matching, if they're not meshing, then it's not going to work. But what I love about your new poetry book, and well, first of all, let me go back. I didn't know that the first two books were right into that era of you out of your divorce. And I
Yes.
think that is one thing that has to be spoken and mentioned, that even in times of, and a divorce is a grieving part,
Yes,
because
it is.
you had this life together, and now it's no more, and it's just
Mhm.
like a death, which you had
Yes.
this person and now they're gone. For you to be able to push past that and still write, how did you do
Mhm.
it? So, because
Well,
those women who were like, I'm in this, and I want
mhm.
to write, but I'm in this, or I'm just getting out of this. But how do I write what God has given me to share? How would you tell them?
The first thing I'll say is I had older women who were my accountability partners.
Okay.
And they
Good.
were my accountability partners in this way. What do you need to do? Yes,
Oh,
that's
so
true.
it
That
wasn't let's let you just sit in it. Is what
no,
do
it
you
was
need to do? Not what
do.
he needs to do. What do
No.
you need to do?
What do you need to do to push past this? What did you learn from this? Um, we talked about the hurt, but what is it that you could have done better? How can you grow from this? What are some of the um baggage that you were bringing? What were you unpacking? What were you
Within
on
the marriage?
within the marriage?
Mm.
And what were some of the trauma that you allowed to basically define who you were in that space in lieu of what he had done? We're not going to stay there because we want you to be stronger for when God rewards you again, because the God we serve is not a God of another chance, but another chance
Yes,
and
yes,
another.
yes. Yep.
So I want to say to any man or woman who was rowing in the boat of life by themselves, and they were married on paper, but not physically, that God
Mm.
is a lover, a rewarder, and a seeker. He said, I stand at your door knocking.
Yeah.
So when a man or a woman closes the door, God said, I will knock again, and I will give you greater than what you lost
Yep.
if you're willing to do the work. The evidence of things not yet seen.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So you have to go on this journey of being honest of, yes, it hurts. Yes, I have to grieve. But you know what? What is it that's in me that I know God gave me? What are my gifts? What are my talents?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And one of my mentors that passed away, her name was Centra Dicker. And one of the things, and this was in my early 20s, and I'm 45 now. And she was near the end, she was suffering with Parkinson's disease, and I would go and visit her every week. And she was like, girl, I can't wait for you to tell your story. I was like, girl, ain't nobody gonna listen to me. What you mean tell my story? And that's a 20 something year old me. And my grandfather got me, before he passed away, a picture of her made, and it's on my wall in my room. And I told her, I was like, you know what? I told my story. And I said, you would be so proud, because in telling your story means taking back what the devil thought he took from you.
Come
By
on here.
story, it gives you back the strength that you thought was not there. And when I began to understand the nuances of me and understand what is plaguing us in the church, and how we talk about everything else, but the reason why you got brother so and so and sister so and so on the third pew on the fourth side sleeping with each other is because you all don't know how to converse.
Mm.
You If you make the tone of being relational nasty, that's not what you're supposed to be talking about. Then it means when the sexual intercourse of communication is not feeding me, I don't know how to express it, and you don't know how to
Yep.
take. And
Yep.
when we have that type of breakdown, when it comes to know someone, is to create communion.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to be a receiver of saying, you know what, I need more of this, or you know what, your headspace wasn't there. I need you present, and not taking it personal,
Yep.
and understanding that we have to date one another. We got to go out. We need to have stimulating conversations, even when we
Yeah.
don't see eye to eye. That's still a
How do we
way.
handle it? Yep.
Yeah. So the book, with him, different from It Happened in the Essence of My Soul, it took a deeper dive into the sanctuary of intimacy,
Ooh, it took a deeper dive. Where?
into the sanctuary of intimacy. It drew me out in ways that I had not stretched myself. When you think about love from agapeo, and understanding that you don't want just this mania, because many of us have a like a WrestleMania type of love.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
addictive. It goes up and down depending on what you do
Yeah.
for me. If
Yeah.
I could never do that thing for you again, will you still see me the same way?
Right. Right.
Would I still choose you day after day? Would I still choose myself? How do I let you know that I need you, I want you, I admire you, I adore you, and I fill you up even when I only have 20% in me right now? That you will sit here and you will take that 80 that you have, and take the 20 that I'm giving the best that I got, and we're still able to have intimate moments.
Yeah.
That's different from just this physical bantering of experiencing you. Can I experience you on varied levels?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. Let me tell you, one thing that I've learned in my journey, especially as a single woman and single Christian woman, is that when you are trying, well, when I'm trying to get to know someone, it seems like I am fighting with who they want to be and who they are. And it's
Mhm.
like, I just want to know who you are now. And then if so be I get to be with you to become who you are looking to become, then great. But I want to know who you are, not who you hope to be, but who you are now. Because I'm not interested in your potential because you may never reach it. You may never become it. But I want to know who you are now. And so my question would be, as you have taken your own journey and you learned what it is to be a married woman, you learned what it is to be a woman going through a divorce and then post divorce. How did you find in your heart, you know what, I want to do this again? I want to love again. I deserve this. How did that
Mhm.
come about and how did that show up in your writing?
Because I had to understand whose I am,
Oh, you had to understand what
whose I am.
and who do you belong to?
And when I know that God said that he doesn't make junk, when God said that I'm going to do a new thing with you and through
Yeah.
you, when God said that I know the plans I have for you, plans to
Yes.
prosper you, um when I know that pruning me is not to destroy me but to
Yeah.
give a fuller version of me, um and to understand that sometimes people can't take the light that God has put in you, and you don't need to put it under a bushel because he told us not to.
Yes,
So
he
what I've
did.
been doing is passing out sunshades and
Yeah.
allow people to just stand in the shadow, because I'm not going to dim or cower, so you could feel better about yourself.
That
And when
part.
you love yourself and start handing out some sunshades, and that's at work, family, wherever you find your feet walking,
Yep.
it's a different aura that comes off of you.
Yeah.
You're able to
Absolutely.
back into God is love. I'm an extension of him.
Yeah.
So if he said he's love, then although this happened to me, it is a comma, not the period.
Mm. Whew. It's a comma, not a period.
Hmm.
Where are you in with your book hymn? Now I want you to tell I already mentioned that it's a book of poetry, but tell us about him.
Oh
What
my,
is him? Like, go ahead, talk about him. Talk about your book, him.
him is what the epitome of the reflection or shadow of what God breathed into a male species. Him allows you
Mm.
to see what a real man of God is, and that does not mean one who is perfect,
Yeah.
but it is one who is striving towards perfection. It's one who
Mm.
inspires you to be your best self. It
Mm.
is one who lends of himself, even when you don't feel your best self, to speak life
Yeah.
into you, that holds your arms up when you're becoming weak. Him allows
Right.
you to see yourself in a mirror, not to be broken, but to
Mm.
know that even in the imperfections that you gaze at, it is a perfect rendition of the glory of what and who you are. And when you have someone who wants to dream with you, who
My
wants
God.
to hear you, who needs you to pour into him as much as he pours into you, who is an example, who is a leader, who has quiet movements but loud actions,
Oof.
one who loves loud, presence
Mm.
proud, who is not afraid to stand behind you, alongside you. Um, it is something that many people just get a foreshadowing of.
Yeah.
But to really be in the presence of him is going to require you to understand that you can't treat him the same way you treated your other. You
The-
cannot talk to him the way that you've been used to moving. You can't handle him any
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
way, because
Yeah.
the value that this man has is not going to afford for you to mismanage and mishandle his time, his
Hmm.
resources, his investments. Him is going to compel you to see love, intimacy, what is a true intimate experience,
Yeah.
and how do you take the simplicities of something as simple as sitting and sharing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich can be such an intimate moment to feast and sup with one another. So him is a journey, him is a reflection, and it is an opportunity to know
Mm.
a piece of heaven on earth.
Oof. Listen, I don't know if I know some people may feel like, you know what, I met him.
Hmm.
And one thing you said is that God is a God of another chance, and a second chance, and a third chance, and a fourth chance, and an eighth chance, and a 20th chance. I would say this to any woman, any man that's listening. If you think you've already found your her or your him and they slipped away,
Hmm.
please, please, please know, trust, and believe that the God we serve is going to let you have it again. Might be a different person. I mean, I'm saying it's going to be the same person, but it might be a
That's
different person. And just be open and prepared and ready for it. So whatever mistakes happen then that you have to be accountable for, don't run from accountability. I would
that's right.
suggest you do what Clianda did. Get you some accountability partners who are going to ask, what did you do? Now,
Hmm.
don't okay. You told us what he did, but what did you do? That and be accountable for that, and get into your place of healing. Let our Father
Hmm.
do His good work, and then
Yeah.
when you receive your third chance or whatever chance it is for your him or for your her, you're already
Hmm.
prepared. You're already prepared. That you know what? Yes, yes.
Yeah. And see, and one thing I will say that's different with him is the reflection piece in the back that allows you to journal.
Yeah,
Uh, and that is what is going to be very powerful in preparing for him or her is how am I reflective and I go deep?
yeah.
How
And
I,
one thing I like too about the book is that you also added the parts where if persons are in a relationship or maybe
yes,
even dating, they can have these conversations because there are questions in the back that, like
yeah,
you mentioned, like you can journal, but there are questions in the back that they can ask each other, and
yeah,
build that intimacy, not just physical intimacy, but
mhm,
emotional, mental, spiritual intimacy, and then they could have this conversation just from reading the book. So I absolutely love that, and I think that it makes the book interactive, not just something you sit down and read, but
right,
you get to interact with the words, you get to interact with your person, or just interact with yourself. Just
that's right,
get down to who you are and what it is you're looking for in a partner, what you can bring to a relationship, and what you're hoping God will bring when that person arrives. So I got one more, maybe like two more questions for you. How has becoming an author impact other areas of your life, your business, or ministry?
um, it's caused me to slow down.
What do you mean?
Sometimes we get caught up in so much that we do that we don't slow down enough to
Mm,
just be,
mm,
um, be emotional, be honest, be vulnerable. But it also allowed me to understand that you have to give something to get something.
absolutely.
So, in doing that, it has helped me to do me and do me confidently. It caused me to walk away from positions that were not meant for me and trusting
Mm,
and out on faith. And in doing that, those are prerequisites on the journey of preparing for him or her. When you see yourself through a different lens that's no longer full of cataracts, where you're trying to duck and dodge and bob and weave and squint, you're able to see clearly
mhm.
whose I am, imperfections, scars, mistakes, and all, because
All
they
of
don't
it.
define me, I define what I've gone through. And
Yes, yes,
love
yes.
can take you through there better than you.
Yeah.
But do not allow yourself to stay there for fear of being hurt. Because I said to someone before, I said, as long as you and I are humans and living, we're going to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
it's about how do you handle it? How do you articulate it? What are your avenues of escape? Are you
Mm.
doing your devotion? Are you reading God's word? Are you going to counseling? Are you journaling? You have to find those paths to keep you healthy, healed, and whole because you miss out on him or her when the brokenness becomes so shattered that people are trying to figure out, are we doing a mosaic around here where I
Ooh.
sit up here and keep trying to decode colors to figure out who you are today?
Ooh.
Are you trying to put together this, build a bear workshop?
Ooh.
Nobody wants to sit here and keep trying to find the proper
At
stuffing.
all. Mm-hmm.
But when we become more honest and intentional and say, you know what, today I'm something that I've gone through has been bubbling up. When you say this or when you do this, it pulls me back. But whose job is it to do the work? Me. And that is when you are able to articulate
That's
it,
good. That's
but you
good.
got to work because it's not that person's responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Try to, sit here and figure out the nuances. You have to open your mouth and then you got to do your work to
That's
ask
right.
yourself, this bothering me. And then we have to be careful who we tether to
That,
because people like the trauma bonds. People
yes,
like
they do. Yep.
dysfunction.
Oh
Some
my
people
God.
function without dysfunction. And I thought I had my him. No, you didn't. No, you
Yes.
didn't. You know good and well that wasn't him.
Yep.
But you were so determined to just get something, to hold something, to do something that you were out in the desert thinking that you see a oasis
Whew.
because you're
Sure.
so thirsty, because you don't want to do the work. You're
Yeah.
out here being a thirst bucket in the middle of the desert, hoping that this
Mhm.
becomes something real. Get out the desert
That part.
and you'll be able to really see because now you're doing the work.
That's
And
right.
when you start that, the glow up, that people will begin to step back and be like, what got into
Yep.
you? What's up?
And people
You
often, when that happens, people often think it's a person that's doing it. Oh, what's his name? Or oh, what's her name? Who you with now? Who got you smiling? What man got you cheesing? Or what woman got you feeling on cloud nine? No, that's not a
it's my
person.
healing. It's
This
my healing.
that's this is a new woman. That one that was broken and shattered that you used to seeing, she is no more. She is put together because the potter set me down on the wheel and he said, I got
That's right.
this.
And that's what I
Yeah.
had to do when I did my first two books. I was sat down because I had
This.
to get surgery on my feet, my one foot, and they ended up having to cast both of my feet at the same time. And
You
that's
had to sit down.
I had to the first two, but this one I chose to sit down,
Mhm.
and I sat down, and I was able to really see and experience and understand.
Yeah.
I really begin to allow myself to see it, feel it, touch it, and go back to it,
Hmm.
expand it, not be okay with just I want to get something out there, but to wrestle with it, to add to it. And for that whole year, what started off as 20 pages end up being over 100.
Yeah.
So that's what when you meet him, he will not allow you to be a minimalist.
Come on.
He won't allow you to be comfortable doing the bare minimum and vice
Mhm.
versa.
Yep.
You stretch one another
That's it. That's
to be
it.
versions of yourself. And when you begin to encounter someone like him or her, you can't just sit there and be average.
Right. No mediocrity because it's not
You
going to
can't.
work because that
Mm-mm.
iron sharpens iron is
All
real when
day,
you with a real one.
every
It's
day.
so serious. It's real. You like, and this is one thing I would say. I have a friend. Um, she's divorced now from him, but she said to me when she would finish, she would share an idea with him for her business, and he immediately like, okay, let's go. And she was like, she didn't really have time to sit and decide if she wanted to do it or not, but because he was just like, oh, let's go. And he always backed her, supported her, everything she needed to do for that idea for the business. And then once she was done, once it launched, he's like, okay, what's next? And she would be like, I don't know. So
Right.
she loved that because he is still is a go-getter. Like he does things.
Um,
The man knows what he's doing, right? And so he pours into her and her business because he always asked her, okay, now what's next? So she never had the opportunity. That's not a bad thing, but she never had the opportunity to just let something launch and then sit back and watch it. It was on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. And so I say that because with the right person, you're always on to the next. You're sharp.
right.
If you give me an idea, okay, so what's the first thing we need to do? Because if
That's
God
right.
gives you an idea, it's not
Give
for
me a vision,
nothing.
make it plain. And he
Right.
said, I don't always do that to you because the people
Yep.
perish for the lack of vision. So
Yep.
when you know you're not with him because he's not a visionary
No.
or her, they're not a visionary.
Teach,
So
you can teach some people with
I mean,
that.
so
Yeah.
this has been such an awakening
Yeah.
to understand that it's okay to love again. It's okay to experience the ups and the downs of what you experience through the lens of vulnerability
Yeah.
because it is a very it could be a very scary place when someone you trusted, you undressed yourself and unveiled yourself and you showed the scars, you showed where the stitches were, you showed where the scabs, and they ripped them off and they impaled you, um and hoping that that will not happen again.
Yeah.
So understanding it's going to be a risk. It's going to
Mhm.
be a risk. And um just be grateful to God for the opportunity to risk because
That whole part.
some people live and never are able to experience
Hmm.
again. So if you're able to experience him or her, count it all joy.
Yes.
Count it all joy because we know that love will overcome anything we face.
Absolutely. Listen, on that, we're because I know, because love is beautiful. Love is kind.
Really is.
Love does not boast. Love accepts you
Correct.
for who you are.
Okay,
Love
correct.
allows you to be yourself. Love pushes you to your greater self. Love pushes you
Correct.
to God. It is
Yeah.
just a beautiful, beautiful
When
thing.
when you could just call him
Yeah.
and be like, "Hey, I need you to call me," and the response is a prayer, and you didn't ask for it.
You know what? I would say this. I dated one guy, and he's actually here. To be honest, it was pretty sad. He in my dating the last 4 years, he's the only man who said I was praying and God dropped you on my heart. And this was early in our dating. And the reason why we didn't continue, I have to admit, he had too many kids. He had too many
Yeah.
kids. He had 6 kids, and I couldn't. And I get, some people like, oh, you could look past that. I couldn't. I couldn't.
Yeah.
But he was the only man that ever said to me, I was praying and God dropped you in my spirit. And he prayed for me. Okay. Thank you. And I couldn't get past the 6 kids. And I feel bad about
Guess what? That's okay.
that.
That's okay too. You gotta know
Oh
what's your
man.
boundary. What's your boundary? Somebody
Yeah.
else could, but that may not be what you're built for, and
Yeah,
that's
right.
okay
No, I
too.
don't think so. I don't think I'm built for six
Okay.
kids. No, not
Mm-mm,
at all.
that's okay.
Well, Clianda, it is always a pleasure talking with you. So I want you to let people know, what are you doing now and what can we expect from
Mm.
you in the next, I would say next year or two. What can we expect from you?
Oh my goodness. So I'm running for New York State Assembly right now, which I'm super excited
Yeah.
about. I'm also gearing up right now for a wonderful collaboration with C. Renault Johnson and Exceptional with the work that we're doing for the community around literacy and
Mm-hmm.
family literacy. Um, so, it's a lot that's going to be on the cusp. Um, Doing a book signing. So it's a lot that's going to be going on, being a mama, taking a child to college and moving in. So a lot
Woo!
of moving parts, but it's a lot of good moving parts. And I'm grateful for the newness that God has placed on me and how he stretched me
Yeah.
because I took the time to know him.
I'm gonna say this, and this is so it's not random, but I'm are you open to your him now?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah. It was
Yes.
just like is she let me ask, are you open to your him? Oh yes. To God be the glory. To
Yes.
God be the glory. And protect it because everybody's not gonna understand him.
That's right.
And
And I'm
everybody
gonna
gonna
tell
want to know
people that.
about him.
Oh,
It's
well, I'm
none
gonna
of
tell
your
y'all this.
business.
I'm gonna tell people this right now. In a world that is so driven by technology and wanting to know so much at the fingertips, um, be intentional
Yeah.
about coveting what God is allowing you to cultivate.
Yeah.
Don't so quick to allow people access
Yeah.
because everybody that's ask you how you're doing isn't trying to pray for you, but they're praying on you.
That part.
So,
And the word curses be real.
so I just, as you prepare yourself for your him or your her, just be okay with not always posting everything,
Yep.
even telling everybody everything, because
Yep.
you got to know that, as my nana say, you got to know when to hold, you got to know when to fold. And
Yep.
my nana used to cuss somebody out at the drop of a dime, but one thing she told me, she said, "Baby, you could get more with honey than you can with vinegar."
That part.
Women, I want us to remember, even when you don't feel it, you could get more with honey
Yeah.
than you can with vinegar
Yep.
if you want the best to come forth out of him.
And with that, we're going to call it a day. Y'all, listen, if you think the conversation that she shared here was something, wait until you read her book of poetry. Listen, it is a journey that you take slowly. It's like Etta James, easy, like no, what was it? Her song, um, Sunday Kind of Love.
Yes.
Just easy and relax. And when you read
Yes.
it, just don't read it
Don't
quickly.
speak through it.
Just don't speed through it. Just take your
Take,
time. I'm telling you, just take your time. that is all we have for today. Listen, y'all, I am so excited about the 201 project where God has commanded me to publish 200 of his daughters for free. I'm doing your ebook for you for free. And baby, listen, it is my honor to have served the women that you are going to meet in the next coming weeks, including Clianda. And it is my honor and my duty to even complete more projects. So you can go to my website, ebonynicolesmith.com, to register for the next online informational where you get all the information about the project. Plus, I am doing many workshops throughout this month. So make sure you watch out for that. And you guys, just listen. This is your time. This is your opportunity. Do not waste it. I don't know how much longer other guys going to allow me to do this, but my hope is once those 200 women are secured and done, that he allows me to move on and add another 200, preferably men, if that's what he
Oh
wants and
my,
that's what he lets me to do. So I hope
yes,
so.
that,
I'm hoping
I'm
because
praying that because you know what, that balance is so
yes,
needed. And